Hello my dear students, welcome back to the biology class. In today's class, I'll be continuing the lesson that is chapter 2, biological classification. So in this chapter, we were studying about the 5 kingdom classification brought by R.H. Whittaker, in which we have to study the 5 kingdom. In that, we were stopped from in the kingdom fungi. Kingdom fungi, I need not to bring any introduction again, I think, because you are already familiar with this kingdom. As kingdom means they are the one of the why it is not included among the plant was the reason was that they did not possess the cell wall. They did not had a true plant cell features like having chloroplast. All those were lacking in the fungus. So that's why the fungus kept separately. And kingdom fungi is also known as kingdom Mycota. You will be knowing, right? Kingdom Mycota. And this kingdom Mycota, this topic, if I want to say, it's like a test of vocabulary, because there's a lot of terms are there which you feel sounds little difficult, or you may find difficult to remember those terms. But still, you consider this as a test of vocabulary and learn it well. Okay, and here some points I am discussing as such you have to write in your notebook as well as, and also submit that notebook and see that you are writing all the points what is there in the textbook also. Then in the kingdom Mycota, we understood that they are found everywhere, right? They're heterotrophic. Then they can be unicellular as well as multicellular. Some of them useful, some of them are they are not useful as well as. For example, some of the fungus like Vaccinia causes sweet rust disease. Albugo causes some of the diseases in Albugo causes diseases in the mustard plant. Then about the useful activities, you know that they are very good decomposers. Then they also help in the production of the antibiotics. And yeast, without the yeast, so many bakery products could not be prepared, because yeast is used in the preparation of bread as well as in the manufacture of some of the beverages, alcoholic beverages. And we also understood about the nutrition, that they are completely heterotrophic. They can be saprophytic, they can be parasitic as well as. Yes, these are the classes we already discussed already in the previous classes. Then about the reproduction. Reproduction means what are the 3 modes of reproduction? Asexual, then sexual, then vegetative means. And in that, we have understood about the sexual life cycle, where it involves 3 steps, which includes plasmogamy, karyogamy, and the meiosis. Right? So plasmogamy means fusion of 2 protoplasm. Then karyogamy means fusion of 2 nuclei, where the genetic material will get fused up, results in a diploid condition. And in some fungus like Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes, this condition of 2 nuclei per cell will be arrested in that condition for a timing. And after that, then they also undergo meiosis, in which the zygote undergoes meiotic division and produce the haploid spores. So where we have to continue now? We have to continue with the classification of fungi. So kingdom Mycota, classification of kingdom fungi, or classification of kingdom fungi. So the kingdom fungi is it's classified into many subclasses are there. Now we are studying about their main classification. Okay. Now kingdom fungi has been classified into 4 subclasses are there. On what basis it is classified, we have to understand. On basis of, one basis is that based on their morphology of mycelium. Morphology of mycelium. Second feature is based on their mode of spore formation. Mode of spore formation in the sense that some of the fungus will produce within their body, the spores will be produced within their body, which is called as endogenous. In some other fungi, they will be produced outside the body, which is called as exogenous spore formation. And mycelium, you know already what are the two types of mycelium. Mycelium means network of hyphae, and this hyphae sometimes in some fungus it may have cross walls in it. Some of them will not have the cross walls. So those have the cross walls, they are called as septate, whereas which do not have the septate, they are called as aseptate or cenocytic or multinucleated fungi. They have so many names, like the 2-3 names will be there. It means same. Then mode of spore formation and nature of fruiting bodies. Like in some fungus, it will be produced in conidia. In some other fungus, it will be produced in basidium. So based on their nature, it is also classified. Nature of fruiting bodies means the structure in which the spores are produced. Structure in which spores are produced, they are called as fruiting bodies. Now, 3 classes of kingdom fungi. Which are the 4 classes? Sorry, not 3. It is, 4. Now, before that, we'll make this classification easy by understanding based on their nature of mycelium. I said they'll be having 2 types of mycelium can be seen. What are they? Septate mycelium, or it also can be called as, if there is a septa, okay. We'll write first aseptate. Then second one is septate. Right? So aseptate means which do not have the cross walls. So which does not have the cross walls? It can be called as multinucleated, or it also can be called as cenocytic hyphae. So broad classification is this. Mainly some of the fungus will have the cross walls, some of do not have the cross walls. Okay, like this, its first classification is done. Under this, you have to study, we have to study only one class is there, that is class Phycomycetes. Okay, because class Phycomycetes, which is also called as algal fungi. Now under this septate mycelium, okay, we have 3 subclasses are there. What are those 3 subclasses? One is Basidiomycetes, which includes mushrooms and all. You will be knowing the mushrooms very well, right? Which is it a vegetarian or non-vegetarian food? Yeah, is it a vegetarian or non-vegetarian food? It cannot be vegetarian food because it's not a plant. It develops on other decomposing or the dead and decaying organic matter sometimes found. It is also found in the tree trunks like that. So it is naturally, it is not a plant. By origin, it is not plant. So you can consider whether it's a non-vegetarian or vegetarian. Then Ascomycetes, one last one is Deuteromycetes. Okay, so these are the 4 subclasses of kingdom fungi. Now, these subclasses also have some other common name that I will tell. Phycomycetes is also called as algal fungi. Basidiomycetes is also called as club fungi. Whereas Ascomycetes is also called as sac fungi. And Deuteromycetes is also called as imperfect fungi. Okay, so this is about the classification. So now we will discuss about the each classes of these fungi. Okay, so you have to make now columns. How many columns you can make? 4 columns for writing the 4 subclasses of fungi, and then next one more column in the beginning is to write the characteristic features. So this work will help you to remember the topics properly. So first, okay, then this is for writing the characteristics. Yes. Deuteromycetes, then ascomycetes, basidiomycetes. Now one more is remaining, right? We'll make this column small. Okay, so first column you write it as characteristics. Okay, then we will write the classes of fungi. First one is phycomycetes. Okay, second class is ascomycetes. Then next class is basidiomycetes. Then last one is the deuteromycetes. Ascomycetes, phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes and deuteromycetes. First we will consider what is their common name. Okay, what are the common name for each class? So first one it is, what is that first one? It is a phycomycetes. The common name is algal fungi. Why it is known as algal fungi? Reason is that it is found in aquatic. It is found in water. So it is known as the algal fungi. Then ascomycetes is also common name is sac fungi. Then basidiomycetes is another common name is club fungi. Then deuteromycetes is also called as fungi imperfecti. Is another common name is fungi imperfecti. First we will start with the phycomycetes. Okay. First, then after that, habitat. About their habitat. Phycomycetes, already I said it is found in aquatic. So one region where it can be seen, it is in aquatic. It is found in aquatic. Not only aquatic, they can also seen as decomposers. They can also live as saprophytes. Okay. Then they are also found in decaying wood. Then also in moist places, and as well as they can found as plants obligate parasites. They can be seen in aquatic. They can be seen in moist places. They can also be seen in what is another region? They can also be seen on, yes, decaying wood. Then another one is mainly it also can be seen as what can be seen as obligate parasite. That means without this host they cannot survive. So we call it as that obligate parasite in plants. This is their habitat. Then what about the next we'll study about their mycelium, nature of mycelium. One thing you have to remember here is that, okay, here when you are classifying, already I told you how it is categorized, right, based on the nature of mycelium. So that concept, if you take in your mind, that point you can write for all the classes. Suppose a question comes to write the features of ascomycetes, means you have to first think that it comes under whether septate or aseptate. Only the phycomycetes comes under aseptate. Remaining all are septate. So that point you can consider for all, and you can write it without seeing that. If after knowing that main nature on which it is classified. So here it is aseptate mycelium. Here in the algal fungi, it is in the phycomycete, it is aseptate. And what is that nature of mycelium? It is multinucleated, right? If it is not having septa, it will be a multinucleated hyphae. Okay, next we can understand there about their spores. Okay, then one more characteristics which is considered for classification of the fungi is about the nature of reproduction. See, we have already know that they can undergo by 3 methods of reproduction. So that 3 method also we will see how that vegetative reproduction takes place here, how the sexual reproduction takes here, how the sexual reproduction takes place here. We will understand that. Okay. Mycelium over. Next we have to understand their birth. Asexual reproduction. So how they will reproduce? Asexually. So what are the structures which helps for their asexual reproduction? Here, if it is a motile, that spores, if sometimes in the asexual reproduction, the spores are motile, then we call it as zoospores. In some case, that spores will not be motile, immotile, then it is called as aplanospore. So in the phycomycetes, they can undergo reproduction, either asexual reproduction, either by zoospore formation or also by the immotile aplanospores. Then mode of spore formation. Another point we have understood that here in the kingdom fungi, nature of formation for spore formation is different. So next category we will consider it as nature of spore formation. How this spore formed in the each fungi. How it is formed? Here it is formed endogenously. Spores are formed endogenously. The spores are formed endogenously. Endogenously means spores which are produced within their body. Okay, the spores are formed within the body, then it is called as endogenous. For example, if you consider it is a rhizopus structure. This is how the rhizopus structure can be seen, which is found on the bread mold. Now, these are the hyphae with the sporangium. In this, the spores are produced. So, in this case, it is called as endogenously it is formed. In some other, for example, in Penicillium and all, the spores are produced on outside. Even in the Basidium mycetes also, the spores are produced on outside their body structure. Then it is called as exogenous spore formation. Okay. So in the case of phycomycetes, the spores are endogenously formed, and that structure in which the spores are produced is called as sporangium. Endogenously produced. Endogenously produced in sporangium. Endogenously produced in a structure called as sporangium. Then next nature, what you should study about this, about their sexual reproduction. How the sexual reproduction will take place in this phycomycetes. How the sexual reproduction will take place. See, you know that sexual reproduction means it is having the gametes should be there. Male and female gametes are there. So sometimes this male and female gametes will have a similar type. Then we call it as isogamous. If they are dissimilar type, then it is called as anisogamous. So the sexual reproduction, if it is the spores are of in the similar morphology, then it is called as isogamous. What is isogamous? If the spores are of similar, or if it is a morphologically the gametes are similar. Okay, so I told you sexual reproduction means there should be a formation of male and female gametes. So if both the gametes are similar in the morphology, then that kind of gametes are called as isogamous. So in the case of phycomycetes, they can reproduce sexually with where the gametes can be isogamous, or otherwise in some other they will all be in the different morphology. That means anisogamous. If the gametes are of different in morphology or dissimilar, then it is called as anisogamous. And obviously you know that in the sexual reproduction, the fusion of gametes occurs, right? So fusion of gametes, the results in the formation of zygospore. The fusion of gametes results in the formation of zygospore. Fusion of gametes results in the formation of zygospore. Okay, so let us understand the examples. Very important. Examples are very important. I don't have a place here to write. Okay, so I am rubbing here and writing the examples. Hope you have written already. So examples, this should come in the last, okay? Characteristics, features 1, habitat 2nd, then mycelium, sexual reproduction, nature of spore formation, sexual reproduction, and comes the 7th one is a, 7th characteristic feature is a examples. What are the examples you can say, take here? You have to write some of the examples like mucor, okay? So mucor, then other examples are Rhizopus, the bread mold. Then albugo. What is albugo? I said it's a parasitic fungi found on the plants. Then Rhizopus. Then one more is Phytophthora. So these are the examples for class Phycomycetes. So what are the examples? See students, the examples are important here, okay? And sometimes for a board exam and all, in detail some if the question not come, but obviously question used to come from the example part. So here, as I said, the example looks difficult and sounds difficult for you. Need not to worry. I'll give you tricks to study for that. But anyhow, you have to remember those examples. Okay. So what are the examples for this? Mucor, Rhizopus, albugo, and Phytophthora. Okay, let us move on to the next class, that is Ascomycetes, which is also called as sac fungi. Why it is called as sac fungi? Reason is that here the spores are produced in a structure called as asci. Okay, or it is produced in a sac-like structure called as ascospore. So one more thing is that Ascomycetes is one of the largest class in the fungi. Which is the largest class? It is a Ascomycetes. Also, one more thing, students, for the NEET and all, you must learn all those examples as well as some of the terms in detail. So, next, let us understand about their habitat. So, where it is found? It can be parasitic. Okay, it can be parasitic. Some of the Ascomycetes are parasitic. Then, they can be saprophytic. They can be seen on other or dead and decomposing organisms, as well as they can be seen as a decomposers. They can be a decomposers. Then they can also live as, see, one term is there, corpophilous. What's the meaning of this corpophilous? Corpophilous means the fungus which grows on the mud, in the fecal matter, maybe in the dung and all, we can see on the cow dung and all, you can observe some of the white patches. So that white patches actually is a fungus itself. So that kind of fungus which grow on dung and all, it is called as corpophilous. Then one main difference in these Ascomycetes are that mostly they are multicellular, except few. Okay, because you know about the yeast. Yeast is only one unicellular fungi. So it comes under the class Ascomycetes. So mostly unicellular and few species are unicellular. So mostly they are multicellular and few are unicellular. I think that you may find difficult to read my handwriting, but please pardon me and adjust with that. Then about the, you know that multicellular means, can you give an example for multicellular fungi which comes under Ascomycetes? Penicillium. Penicillium comes under the Ascomycetes, where the penicillium is used in the production of antibiotics. Then let us understand about the mycelium. What about their mycelium? Already I told you. Except Phycomycetes, all others are branched and it is septate. Branched and it is septate. Then let us understand mode of their asexual reproduction. How the asexual reproduction are formed. Here, asexual reproduction spores are produced exogenously. In the first class, the spores are produced endogenously, whereas here the spores are produced exogenously. And the structures in which that spores are produced, it is called as ascospores. They are called as ascospores. So, where these asexual spores are produced, they are produced on conidia. Okay, conidia, you might have seen the penicillium. Penicillium structures are like this, on which I said the small structures will be formed. That small structures which act as a reproductive units, that is called as conidia. The structure in which that conidia is formed is called as conidiophores. Okay. Then about the sexual reproduction. So already I said nature of spore formation, it is exogenously produced in a structure called as conidiophores, and that units are called as conidia. Then sexual reproduction. Okay, some terms are there which almost similar, conidia, conidiophores, like that. So here the spores are produced in a structure called as, another structure called as ascospores. So the sexual reproduction is formed in ascospores. The sexual reproduction takes place by the formation of ascospores, and it is produced in a sac-like structure is called as asci. So that's why the name of this class is called as ascomycetes or sac fungi, where the spores are produced in a sac-like structure. So that's why it's called as ascospores. Then what are the examples for this? Examples are, I'll write here itself. They are claviceps, then penicillium, then already yeast is already mentioned. Then about their parasitic fungi, it is, one of the example is Aspergillus. It's another fungi, Aspergillus. So claviceps, penicillium, yeast, Aspergillus, then Neurospora and yeast. Neurospora, remember, Neurospora is is highly used, extensively used in the biogenetic work as well as in the genetic work. So Neurospora, so you can expect a question asking that, name a fungi which is extensively used in the biogenetic work. It is Neurospora. And which is a unicellular fungi? It is yeast. And in which fungi that antibiotic penicillin is produced, that is Penicillia. Penicillium belongs to which class? It belongs to the Ascomycetes. What's the common name for Ascomycetes? It is sac fungi. Okay, so these are the information related to the Ascomycetes. Next we will start about the Basidiomycetes. Basidiomycetes is one of the fungus which is highly significant because they act as a decomposers, a very good decomposers they are. And already I said about the mushroom. So mushroom also comes under this Basidiomycetes class. Why it is known as club fungi? Because here that it produces, so they are reproduced sexually by the formation of basidium. So that's why it is known as the which looks like a structure called as basidium, so it is known as club fungi. Then what are the other habitat? They can be decomposers, they can also be parasitic. Some of them are parasitic. Then some of them are found growing on the tree stumps, and also they can be saprophytic. They can be seen in soil, they can be seen on the logs, as well as they can be parasitic on plants as well as animals. They can cause disease in plants and animals as well as. And so if you remember this fungi as a disease-causing organism, this fungus has caused a decline in the frog population. So this is a work for you. So you have to write down the name of the fungi which has caused the decline in the frog population. So find out that name which caused the decline in the frog population. Then as well as it also causes some of the eczema like kind of diseases in cattle, sheep and all. So these fungus, they are very good decomposers. They are also useful as well as because some of the mushrooms are highly delicious and it is economically useful. Along with that, some of them are parasitic also. So that's why basidiomycetes have some of the economic importance. So we will continue the next class, Neutromycetes, and in detail we'll study in the next video. Thank you.